For the legendary ocean explorer Jacques-Yves Cousteau, Lake Baikal was one of the last frontiers, calling to him with its mystery. His team managed to film the lake, and the documentary was released after Cousteau's death, like a parting gift from a great explorer. Today, inspired by that legacy, a group of scientists and enthusiasts sets out again. We've called the journey Baikal Without Borders. At the helm is Dmitry Pavlov, a researcher with LAI, who has gathered a crew of kindred spirits. Our goal is to continue Cousteau's work, reach the most hidden corners of the planet's greatest lake, and share its wonders with the world. Our first stop is Polovinaya Station. We step ashore and walk beside the old tunnels of the Circum-Baikal line. These granite corridors, blasted into the rock in the early 1900s, keep their share of stories. Local legend speaks of Kolchak's gold, a mysterious train said to have vanished along the stretch of coast. Some believe part of the treasure was hidden in these very tunnels, and enthusiasts still search for traces. Step by step, we move under the damp stone vaults, listening to wind and echo. Nature is taking over. Moss veils the walls, water drips from the ceiling. The place seems to breathe history and gives a slight shiver, as if the legends still live in these dark passages. Back on board, we head out again. Ahead lie coves where there are no people, only Baikal and the mountains setting the rules. The names on the chart spark the imagination. We aim for Sandy Bay, one of Baikal's most famous and beautiful places. Here a golden beach arcs between stern, rocky headlands, and the stilt pines stand with roots exposed, as if suspended in air. Bad weather pins us here for 2 days. Baikal blows hard and bars the way. But there's no boredom. A lakeside banya saves the day and turns the delay into a celebration. After the heat and steam, plunging into the icy lake is pure joy, and what might have felt like lost time becomes one of the warmest memories of the trip. Evenings we spend on shore, listening to wind in the pines and the faint whisper of sand underfoot. This enforced pause turns out to be one of the expedition's most tender, unforgettable moments. Morning draws us toward the depths. Baikal is the deepest freshwater lake on Earth, down to about 1,642 meters, and among the oldest, more than 25 million years. Beneath the surface lies a world still largely unknown. We suit up and slip into cool, crystal-clear water. With the first meters of descent, an underwater fairy tale opens. Sunbeams lance through the water column, painting the stones with a greenish glow. On those rocks sway bright green Baikal sponges, living colonies that look like underwater gardens. They're endemic to Baikal, and by filtering the water they help keep the lake clean. Farther from shore, the bottom drops away into darkness. In the water hang the tiniest sparks of life. This is Baikal's plankton, minute crustaceans called Episcura and their neighbors. Episcura are the lake's invisible heroes. No bigger than a pinhead, they make up as much as 90% of the zooplankton. Each one pumps volumes of water many times its own size, feeding on microscopic algae and bacteria. In effect, they are living filters cleaning the lake. Together with the sponges, they help create Baikal's astonishing clarity. Scientists lower a white Secchi disk and can still see it down to roughly 40 meters. We swim through this unseen army of cleaners, feeling like guests in a vast underwater cathedral. Light dives deeper, glittering on rock ledges draped with silky algae. In the distance, a shadow flickers, perhaps the legendary Galomayanka, Baikal's oilfish, a creature of the cold depths, nearly transparent as glass. For a heartbeat it gleams in our light, then fades into blue, as if the spirit of the lake itself had come to take a look at us. We're filming underwater, trying to capture Baikal's unique bottom-dwelling plants and animals. The camera glides along stones draped in a fine velvet of algae, lingering on the lacework of tiny oxygen bubbles these gardens release. Every second below feels like a revelation. A world of near silence where you hear only your own breathing through the regulator, and where, at any moment, a creature might pass that you won't meet anywhere else on Earth. Baikal is serene when the weather smiles, but it's just as famous for a hard temper. Our plan is to reach Proval Bay, a place wrapped in legend and scientific puzzles. The lake decides to test us. By midday, a lid of lead-gray cloud closes in. The wind rises, and the mirror turns to a boiling sheet. A storm is on. On Baikal, storms aren't rare. Waves can build to 10 to 13 feet, and small boats have no business in open water then. We ride out the worst behind a headland. The hull swings at anchor while the shore thunders with waves smashing to spray. The team is focused and a little tense. There's an open fetch between us and Proval, and the weather still won't settle. When the wind finally eases, we make the call. Go now while there's a window. The bow hammers through gray crests, cold spray on our faces, the wind whistling in our hoods. Thunder rolls somewhere to the east. The squall is leaving us its leftover chop. Then a string of low islets and a broad sheet of water beyond them comes into view. Proval Bay, a wide basin, cut off from the main lake by narrow tongues of land. As soon as we slip inside, the waves fall away, tamed by the shallows. The shores are gentle and grassy, the first impression almost tame, an oversized, quiet lagoon. The instruments tell a different story. We bring up the echo sounder and start a careful grid. The screen holds steady. 5 meters, 5. Still 5. It's like skimming a tabletop. For miles, the depth barely budges, about 5 m across long stretches. That kind of flatness suggests one thing: land that dropped in a hurry. History remembers when, on New Year's night in 1862, a powerful earthquake shook this coast. A broad swath of coastal plain, known as the Tsagan Steppe, roughly 200 square kilometers, collapsed into Baikal. A new bay formed in a matter of hours. Hence the name Proval. The collapse. We are literally boating over drowned fields and forest, following the crests of a landscape now hidden by a thin skin of water. It's an uncanny feeling. The fish finder draws a calm, ruler-straight line, the profile of a steppe that once bloomed and now sleeps underwater. On deck, our researchers trade quick theories. This may be the largest documented subsidence on Baikal in historic time. Proval Bay is a sharp reminder of how fast nature can redraw the planet's face. Into Baikal's long twilight. If the shallow Proval keeps the past close to the surface, Baikal's real mysteries live deeper, where sunlight fails. With the storm spent, the lake settles. We ready the ROV and send it down into the dim. On the monitor, daylight thins by degrees. At 30 to 40 meters, there's still a blue dusk. By 70 meters, it compresses to shadow. Around 100 meters, we're working by lights alone. The beams rake the bottom and pull scenes from the dark. Tufts of underwater growth, a scatter of rare crustaceans, pale, chalky shapes clinging to stone. For Baikal, this is only the edge of deep. There's more than a mile of water under us yet, but even the first 100 meters open a world hard to reach by any other means. A world of cold, pressure, and unseen life. The lamps catch a brief glitter, a cloud of tiny swimmers gliding through, their glassy bodies flashing and gone. Farther down, beyond 300 meters, the camera finds odd white structures, perhaps bacterial colonies or mineral stacks laid down over centuries. The water here sits near 4 degrees Celsius, the pressure immense, and still life has carved out a living. Something lumbers past the lens. A big, half-transparent side swimmer, an amphipod built for Baikal's permanent night, heaves itself across the frame and slips behind a rock. We hold our breath, waiting for another glimpse. It doesn't return. That's fine. Down here, some things are meant to be seen only once. The footage from Baikal's lakebed is hypnotic. In the beams of our lamps, a world appears that sunlight never touches. No light-loving algae here, no fish that chase the day, only creatures adapted to permanent night. Some of them may not even be described by science yet. Every meter we record feels like a small discovery. When the camera rises to the surface, the deck erupts, shouts, applause, a rush to the monitor. We've captured what only a handful have ever seen. Baikal does not share its secrets quickly, but patience and curiosity pay off. At last, we have rare images from the kingdom of cold darkness. After days packed with dives and long runs along the shore, the evenings grow quiet. On a wild beach, we build a fire. The flames crackle and dance in the lake's black mirror. We draw in close, faces tired, happy, bright with sparks. In moments like this, the distance between people seems to vanish. Conversation loosens and flows. Science blends into philosophy. Wrapped in a blanket, Dmitry Pavlov talks with enthusiasm about hyperbolic algebra, a way of doing math that treats time alongside space. His voice keeps time with the pop of burning sap. You wouldn't think Baikal and abstract equations belong in the same sentence, and yet, under this fathomless sky, even cold numbers find a kind of poetry. We try to picture invisible hyperbolic spaces. Maybe somewhere inside that forest of symbols lies a key to understanding space-time itself. The talk turns to our biologist, who shares stories of Baikal's living web. He speaks about the lake spirit and how local peoples have long held it sacred. Among the Buryats, there is a legend of the master of Baikal, a powerful guardian who dwells in these waters. In the midnight hush, staring at the shimmering surface, it's easy to believe the lake has a soul. Each of us feels that truth in a different way, some through data, some through the heart. We don't forget the ordinary joys. Jokes, small disasters, and stitched-together memories carry us closer. We laugh about someone slipping on a slick stone, or the gull that stole a piece of bread right off the table at lunch. Little mishaps become warm campfire tales. You realize an expedition isn't only research and discovery. It's friendship tested and strengthened by a harsh, beautiful place. In a circle of kindred spirits, any topic fits, from equations to one-liners. Sparks float into the stars, and a deep contentment settles in. Today we learned a bit more about Baikal and about each other. Life in the field includes a very particular kind of rest. One day we give ourselves a small holiday for body and spirit. A makeshift banya right on the shore. From what we have at hand, we rig a simple steam tent. Canvas stretched over oars, stones heated in the fire. When it's ready, we take turns crawling inside. The hot vapor hits like a wave. Bundles of fir twigs release a clean, resinous scent. Hearts race, cheeks flush. Then we burst barefoot onto the cool sand and sprint straight into Baikal's ice-sharp water. For a moment, there's only one thought. Whoa. Breath catches, blood rushes to the skin. The lake's cold scrubs away every trace of fatigue. We surface laughing. The contrast, scalding steam, freezing water, delivers a jolt nothing else can. Like kids, we splash for a few seconds, then dash back to the warm tent. And repeat. Steam, lake, steam, lake. Laughter carries across the quiet cove. It feels like even the stars are smiling at the noise. Next day, the trail climbs into the hills, and Baikal opens from above. We ford rushing mountain streams that tumble toward the lake. No bridges, just us and the water. Boots off, we wade. The current is needle cold. The stones are round and slick, polished by years of flow. Each step is a test, feet go numb, and halfway across you have to choose to keep going. Someone yelps as a colder thread of water bites at their ankles. Then we're on the far bank, grinning at one another. Cheeks blazing, legs shaking, hearts light. Moments like this teach you to push past your own limits and accept nature's rules of the game. After the tough crossing, we feel like winners, even soaked to the knees. In a sunny clearing, warmth returns, and the day settles into a bright, simple joy. Our expedition is drawing to a close. It's time to head home. But no real journey would be an adventure if everything ran by the book. We've already said our goodbyes to Baikal when the notice lands. Our return flight is canceled. The reason isn't the point. What matters is that fate hands us a few unplanned days. Instead of a frantic dash to the airport, we get an unexpected rest. In the nearest city, we're put up in a cozy 4-star hotel with a buffet. After weeks in tents and aboard a boat, the soft beds, the hot shower, the smell of fresh bread at breakfast feel unreal. We half-jokingly dubbed this phase an expedition into civilization. That night, over dinner, we raise a toast to Baikal and to its surprises. None of us expected the finale to offer such a sharp, charming contrast. To reach home, we have to reroute, connecting through Krasnoyarsk. With a long layover ahead, what do tired travelers do? Go looking for adventure even in the city. By luck, there's a zoo nearby, and we wander over to pass the time. Two Amur tigers pace with quiet authority, A bear squints into the sun. After Baikal's grand wildness, the animals feel almost domestic, and the enclosures look strange to eyes tuned to wide horizons. Still, the detour becomes part of our story. We snap a photo by the lynx and joke that we've spotted another Baikal cat. Not the one from the lake, but a far-flung Siberian cousin. Watching a quick little meerkat vanish into its burrow, we realize adventure is a state of mind. Even a canceled flight has turned into a new chapter we'll remember with a smile. Beyond the horizon, preparing for the Atlantic. On a train platform or in an airport lounge, each of us feels that soft ache of parting. In a handful of days, the lake became a friend and a teacher. Baikal without borders is more than a line on a map. It's a test of spirit, a well of knowledge, a storehouse of inspiration. We arrived as researchers and romantics. We leave a tight-knit crew, buoyed by new ideas. But our farewell to Baikal isn't an ending. It's the start of a new chapter. Everything we lived here, starry nights and storm days, depths and ridgelines, science and friendship, was training for what's next. Our new horizon is the Atlantic. Plans are already taking shape for an expedition to the African coast, where the Mauritanian shelf hides the ancient channel of the Tamanrasset River. Thousands of years ago, that great river crossed the Sahara and poured into the ocean, carving canyons and leaving drowned oases on the seafloor. We aim to explore that submerged valley the way we studied Baikal's depths. Patiently, carefully, layer by layer. Baikal taught us patience, courage, and how to notice the invisible. We'll carry those lessons into salt water. Looking back, we feel Cousteau's spirit at every turn. In each dive and each question we asked of nature was a kinship with the pioneers who opened Baikal decades ago. Now the baton is in our hands. Our cameras and instruments have captured things few have seen. Our minds and hearts are open to the next set of riddles. The expedition has ended, but the hunger to discover only burns brighter. Baikal without borders isn't just a title. It's a principle. Learning without borders, friendship without borders, dreaming without borders. So we don't say goodbye to Baikal, we say, until next time. Its wave will echo through our future voyages. Ahead lie a new sunrise, a new sail on the horizon, new depths and new shores. The world is vast and beautiful, and no matter how many years have passed since Cousteau, people will keep heading where they've never been, toward new coasts. Our course runs farther, beyond the horizon, and in each of us a voice whispers, the adventure continues without borders.